there are 4 boroughs within London he's not allowed in, Greenwich being one of them. So I hope that really is being investigated. And so if he has breached his licence, then yes, he needs to go back to prison and really think about his life.
I'm standing in the Black Hawk Boyd draw dock in the shadow of the O2 Arena in Greenwich. It's southeast London, and while this is normally a very insignificant piece of land, was part of our exclusive investigation into the identity of the drill rapper 10, who yesterday we unmasked as Jake Fahri, the killer of teenager Jimmy Mizen. We can now reveal that this dock here is where Jake Fahri filmed one of his music videos for his violent, drug-filled drill rap songs. And what's more is that Jake Fahri is banned from going into this part of London as part of an exclusion order made after he was released in June 2023.
Look, said he wants to be a killer, hitting with some insight. Starts with murder trials, prosecution wearing pinstripes. Even if you bust the case, even if you slip right, ends with him coming for your neck, protect your windpipe.
This doc was the shoot point for 10's video for the track Dirty Game, one of his most popular songs, and which was published on the GRN Daily YouTube channel, one of the biggest outputs for drill and grime music in this country. That track got thousands of views and many admiring comments from fans who had absolutely no idea who he was. In the track, lyrics include more references to violence, more references to drugs, more references to severe criminal charges like murder.
He's not allowed in certain boroughs. There are 4 boroughs within London he's not allowed in, Greenwich being one of them. So I hope that really is being investigated, because if he did breach his licence, then it needs to be dealt with. But also, and I don't know if this is true, but where he's living, if it's in Deptford and if that comes under Lewisham and Greenwich, then I'm thinking that's a problem too. But I don't suppose it'd be that easy to for everyone to see that he is there. He could say he's not living there.
But if he has breached, and this on it by itself, having spoken to former police chiefs, and this by itself likely not enough to result in a recall, but if he has been breaching the licence conditions, and you'd think if he's done it once, it would have been repeatedly, the licence conditions, do you think at that point he needs to go back to prison?
I think it'd have to. I think otherwise it'd be the license of someone will be a laughing stock. And when will we ever get law and order? And we need law and order. So I'm not against prison. Don't get me wrong. Just because my message is forgiveness, peace, and hope, it doesn't mean to say that we don't do the right thing. We must. And so if he has breached his licence, then yes, he needs to go back to prison and really think about his life.
We told yesterday how many of the lyrics in Jake Fahri's songs referenced violent crime, and even the 2008 attack in a bakery here in southeast London, which saw him locked up for life, though only with a sentence of 15 years. He was released in June 2023 and told that under no circumstances could he come into certain parts of southeast London, including the location where the attack and fatal murder took place. And that includes this part of the Greenwich Peninsula. And it means now that Ministry of Justice bosses could see fit to recall Jake Fahri to prison less than 18 months after he was released, less than 18 months after he had the chance to turn his life around and prove that he had been reformed inside the justice system. It may well be his own tracks and his own posts on social media that see him put back inside prison. Just explain how you felt when you saw that come out in the news this morning.
I actually saw it last night in the sun, and I suppose at the moment I'm still feeling quite numb. And it's totally unbelievable, really. I'm just a bit shocked by it. Well, a big time shocked.
Many of this rapper's lyrics, he released 7 songs on Spotify, on YouTube, across all of these mainstream platforms. Many of his lyrics were violent, they referenced drugs, and they appeared to directly reference the murder of your son, for which he was locked up for 15 years. You've had the chance to read some of the lyrics now, you've had the chance to listen to some of the songs. I mean, it is directly flying in the face of yourself and other relatives of Jimmy.
Well, it's going to be difficult for some of our family when they hear the lyrics. For me, I can't believe that you're even allowed to play these kind of, I'm going to call it a song, but it's not a song, is it? It's words. And the lyrics are just beyond disgraceful. Why would you want to hurt some people the way that he's doing. Why would you want to cause them pain? I think I'm too shocked to even say too much about it, but yeah.
Some of those lyrics included "Stick it on a man and watch him melt like Ben and Jerry's." "Sharpen up my blade. I've got to keep those necessary. Stay alert and kept it ready. Any corner could be deadly." In another one, he says, "Ever see a man's soul fly from his eyes and his breath gone? I wanted more. It made it less wrong. Seeing blood spilled, same floor he was left on." We know that the circumstances of Jimmy's death, very sadly, that there was a pool of blood on the floor. And that is a direct reference.
Oh, absolutely. Left on the floor. Jimmy wasn't left on the floor. Jimmy, bless him, was so scared he hid in a cupboard, and his last breath was in a cupboard in a pool of blood. It doesn't matter whether he's talking about Jimmy or not. They are terrible words for anyone, and for our young people to have to hear them. I think Jake Fahri is just trying to make himself look like a celebrity. I pray with all my heart this doesn't do that. But those words, yeah, he is probably referencing Jimmy, but he will say he's not. There's a disclaimer on one of his films, and I'm no different to anyone else. I had to watch some of them. And the disclaimer, I mean, what is that about? I think he should be ashamed of himself, and I am sure his parents, I would like to think, are ashamed of him.
It can't be about anything else, can it? A lot of this genre is about people's lived experiences.
That's right.
There's very little else to rap about in that genre other than violence and drugs. And so it can't really be about anything else.
Yeah, as I say, I'm lost for words. I think it's just so... It's all happened so quick that I haven't had time to even digest it with my family. I mean, we haven't even had a chance to see our family. So I dread to think what they're all thinking. But also, as I say, it's about what this is doing to our young people. They're hearing it, they're glamorizing it, they're thinking it's great, and that's why these things are happening. We lost a young boy last week, 14 years of age. And I believe, I don't know if he rapped or if he listened to that kind of music, and is encouraging it. It makes it all look good, and it's not. I just think he's beyond words. And as I say, for me and my family, we will continue to do what we do. We will bring some good out of Jimmy's death. I will not be beaten by this young man, or adult as he is now. He's not a young man anymore, is he? But I'm not going to be beaten by it. Not. But that's not to say that I don't feel like crying today. I do, but I'm never ever going to cry on a camera.
I stood tall for every season. Gave me all this pain so I can understand the meaning. I don't understand the meaning yet. Is this really life for me? Nothing that can he do in life, but would he right?
And the fact that Jake Fahri films himself or sings with a balaclava, then I think that should have highlighted there's a problem to the BBC. So I think the BBC do need to give us answers. They need to kind of really look deep into what's going on their radio channels. And I think they need to stand up and be a voice for change and stop these things. I can't believe that they would have played it. I can't believe that the DJ said about this rapper that he was so up and coming, because I have read all the bits and pieces. I'm sure he didn't know that it was Jake Fahri, the murderer of our son, but nevertheless, why are you hiding your face? What a coward.
This morning, the Shadow of Justice Secretary Robert Jenrick said that you should be given a full apology. Would that be enough?
I don't think it's an apology we need. I think we need to look into how it's been allowed to happen. Apologising, oh, you apologise and that's the end of it. I don't need that. But I do want to know how he's been allowed to get as far as he has. Now, we have a victim liaison officer who once a year gets in touch with me to tell me what's been happening. Most years they say, yeah, nothing's changed. Obviously, the year he was coming out of prison, there was a lot going on then with the parole service. But I think had they known yesterday or known before that something was going to come, they should have been in touch with me. And I'd like to know why they didn't get in touch.